We're going to do a little bit of reading on this energy charged magical broadcast spell. Look, we have Dharma. She's already here relaxing. We've poured a cup of tea, so I'll make a little sweetness for you too. Stirred some extra in because I am your happiness navigator, pollinator of positivity, shape-shifting woman wizard. Yes, that's me, Melissa Mojo B. And we're going to get right on in to learning a little more about the magic of the full moon. And a big part of that magic is forgiveness and gratitude. So it's actually less about manifesting and doing more, but about appreciating more and more, sweet ones. Cheers to you. Of course, we have our water here too, and we are magic charging all of our liquids as we are together, sparkling that up with that cosmic rainbow energy that's also known as Reiki. And I'm a trained Reiki master, and I am just so honored and happy to remind us all how empowered we are, and that's why I call you a fellow wizard. And we're all a little bit of shapeshifters because, you know, we can purr like a cat, purr, purr, purr. Some of us are good at rolling those R's. I've been to Scotland, so I've had extra practice. And we can be wise like an owl. We can be clever like a fox. All those wonderful things. So it's like this water that is in here is primordial water. It has been on this planet and it has seen many different experiences, as have we. And tonight we're going to read about the experience of the full moon in Scorpio, here from the Moonology book by Yasmin Boland. And sometimes we love to buzz in here, our multi-passionate magic making selves, and do a little reading on a Thirsty for Knowledge Thursdays. I used to drink, but I don't drink anymore. So now we drink in the knowledge. And cheers to you for joining us here at the Tree Hive in the Sky. Dharma and I. Dharma's very content. She's very chill. Aren't you, Dharma? Yeah, she's like a little bit hard to get on camera because she's so very black, isn't she? Look, she's like, oh, but the eyes are very, oh, there you go. A little purrs for everyone, and a little pets too. I love you. Always these broadcasts, when you find me, Melissa Mojo B, are charged with Reiki energy and also cosmic rainbow magic to activate, transmute, and evolve. And my personal intention, my personal magic for peace, prosperity, and protection for thee and thine loved ones. And tonight we're just going to get into a nice, relaxing little read here. So why don't I just shape shift into my more studious self and put on my spectacles here. And do remember to drop your name in the comments so I can shout you out as we do a little reading this evening. Or whenever this finds you, it is the perfect time, and the energy is timeless, and so is the magic. So let's get right into a full moon. And the magic of the full moon, what does it say on the beginning of this? Work with the magic of the full moon. The full moon is the high point of the lunar cycle. Full illumination, right? It's a very powerful time for inner work, for looking within, shifting blocks, and shedding the past, things we all need to do on a regular basis. It's also a great time to look at the seeds that we planted on the new moon. So that would be just about a month ago, right? Or sorry, 2 weeks ago. So it goes 2 weeks and 2 weeks. So a month ago would be the full moon again. So we have all these chances to plant seeds and then see how it's going and do a little check-in. So this is the little check-in time. You see Dharma? Dharma. Dharma is really comfortable right on my lap, aren't you? Yeah, you curled right up with everybody. Dharma is also a Reiki master cat because when I was learning how to attune people, Dharma got a lot of attunements when I was practicing. Okay, full moon, forgiveness and gratitude. The full moon is generally considered to mark the end of a lunar cycle. Of course, the lunar cycle never actually ends, right? It's a cycle after all. At least it hasn't to date. Rather, the moon is forever waxing and waning. The full moon is seen as the climax of the monthly lunar cycle, The energies build and build and build to the full moon, and then bang, there's some full moon madness, followed by a sort of cosmic lunar sigh. At the time of the full moon, we're being asked, it says in brackets, forced, to deal with our stuff, which, as we mentioned earlier, is why some people seem to go a little loony at the full moon. The full moon, then, is all about peaking and releasing the old, letting go of lower energies that come from upsets or any negative events, as well as any negative patterns you may have fallen into. I say we, any negative habits that I rephrase everything to we, because I don't like to say you and me. After all, it's we wizards, right? We. And so I generally translate things into we. That's my language. So if it says here, which, I feel like it's a should. If you're like, you should do that. I feel that if I say we, and it does resonate with all of us, right? So it says about being forced to deal with our stuff, and that's why some people go a little loony. It's about releasing toxic thoughts, habits, ways of being, and indeed toxic people. It said there as releasing these upsets or from any negative events, as well as negative patterns we may have fallen into. So it said you may have fallen into, and I was like, we'll just say we, right? Because we all have a little something, even as we're getting more evolved, right? I like to say, not that we're needing fixing, or not that we're needing necessarily even healing. It's all just evolutionary perfection. And we're all doing a little bit of that all the time. Even if we have our exercise on perfection or our food on perfection, we can always just get a little bit more finessed in these things. So it's culmination time, it's letting go and clean slate time. It's when we can, it says should, it's not a word I use very often, when we could release the things we don't want. Guilt, fear, disappointment, jealousy, and anything that's generally counterproductive. The full moon is also a powerful time for inner work, for looking within, healing, shifting blocks, and shedding the past. When the moon is full, it's at its brightest, and it can shine a light on our darkness, on the deepest parts of ourselves that we usually can't see. The full moon also creates something of a tug of war in us. We have the sun in one half of our horoscope chart and the moon on the exact opposite side. We see where things are out of balance and bring them back into harmony. Working too hard, the full moon reminds us to pay some attention in our working life. A nice balance, right? Reminds us to invest some in our playtime. So spending too much, events at the time of the full moon can remind us to rein things in. Good time to check the budget and see how things are going there. Giving too much, the full moon is the time to remember to receive as well. So important. And yesterday in our live stream, because we're doing 100 live streams almost in a row with 11 days off, so 111 days and 100 live streams, and yesterday we were talking about the Empress, and the Empress card being that time to receive, time to look at how we don't always have to be giving, but sometimes it's time to be in that mode of just letting the universe and the people around us and situations really gift us. Why forgiveness is crucial for manifesting. It's important to note that in order to realize our dreams via new moon manifesting, so new moon is really the time for laying those seeds, laying the plans, and now's the time to let go of what's not working, release, and be grateful. So we need to have released any grudges or upsets that we have against anyone. That's just how it works. The full moon is also the ideal time to practice forgiveness and gratitude. Yes, we're all in agreement. We can use the full moon in order to process the following: negative emotions, fears, upsets, arguments, disappointments, dramas, wrongdoings. And in order to process and release the karma that goes with whatever has happened, we need to forgive. That might mean forgiving ourselves and or forgiving someone else. Sounds challenging? Not necessarily. This is good. Imagine that before you came down here to Earth, before we incarnated, we made several soul agreements. We knew that we wanted our soul to evolve, during our lifetime. So we made agreements with other souls to do things to each other that would push all of our buttons, maybe even push us to the edge, but mainly would teach us. So if and when someone really upsets us and pushes all the buttons and starts to test us, we can imagine they are someone with whom we have a soul contract. Look for the lessons that the upset is teaching. This is how we turn lessons into blessings. Think of it as a setup designed to help us evolve rather than as an upset. A setup instead of an upset. I like that. Get it? Learn the lesson and you will be able to move on. Look at Dharma's giving me the slaps. What did I do to deserve this, Dharma? I'm going to turn off my notifications. Sorry about that. There we go. No. Feel free to comment. I always do love to hear your comments. See your comments, read your comments, feel your energy as we are indeed co-creating these magical broadcasts. Okay, learn the lesson and we'll be able to move on, yes. If we accept that we're on this planet to evolve, so we no longer have to keep reincarnating, well, however you want to think about that, I don't think about reincarnating as it's a karmic thing and then we have to do everything right and then eventually we get to be something else. I get the feeling that maybe we just get to play in this planet and different experiences of life. Not so much that it's that it's like there's a certain way, you know, and eventually we're gonna get out of this rut. I think that this is heaven on earth, and I think that we get to see it that way. Dharma, 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 Dharma. What a character. Are you trying to get your tail in my tea? I don't want tail tea. Thank you, though. I appreciate all that energy and movement you're giving us here. I know. So much energy, Dharma. Okay. Tail tea. Get it? Okay, if we accept that we're on this planet to evolve, so that we no longer have to keep reincarnating, I feel like we're just going to go and choose a different experiences that we set this up as a joyride, kind of like if it was a holograph or a holodeck on Star Trek or something, right? And we said, oh, let's go into this story and then experience that. And then maybe next time I just want to be a leaf on a tree and I experience that. Not sure, but that's my kind of feeling. However, I think that it's saying we will perhaps try harder to handle the issues we come up against. That friend who really annoys us turns out to be our teacher. That stranger who was rude to us, also our teacher. That teacher back at school who was mean to you and made you feel bad, teacher. Your lover, your ex, the one that got away, teachers. Your kids, teachers. So once a month at the time of the full moon, we take a moment to get square with our teachers. We forgive them for what they've done because they have a soul contract with us too, whether they know it or not. I talk about, you know, thank the villains because we're all the heroes of our own story after all. So we can thank the people that came in and made it dramatic and helped us learn those heroes' lessons, because heroes also have Achilles heels and things that they have weaknesses in, and these people help us learn. So most people are doing their best. Everyone is doing their best. That's how we know. We're not taking anything personally when we realize everyone is truly doing their best, and so we can give them credit for that. Yeah. Resentment only leads to bitterness, which is toxic. As the Buddha allegedly said, some people attribute the words to the Buddhist teacher Pema Chodron. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Yes, we know that one. Okay, full moon teachings. How to forgive someone. It could be argued that being angry is better than feeling helpless and hopeless. However, anger could be seen as merely a stepping stone on the way back to wellness, which is when we no longer harbor any upset against anyone. Sometimes we can forgive and forget. Sometimes we can only forgive, but we can't forget. And sometimes we can forgive, but it's not even wise to forget. We're all human and we all make mistakes. We're all fighting our own personal battles. And just to repeat, forgiving someone for what they did does not make it right. It means we've dealt with it and now we can move on. When we're upset with someone, when we're furious or bitter or twisted, we start to shut down our functions. Even our bodies suffer from that, right? The signals we're sending out are more in tune with anger than they are with anything else, and these signals have a big impact on how our life unfolds. Remember, according to the law of attraction, like attracts like. So when we're angry, we're giving out bad vibes. I mean, they're not the kind of vibes that we want to be receiving, right? So we don't want to be giving it. When we forgive, we give out much cleaner, purer, and happier vibes. And when we do that, it's much easier to manifest our dreams. And I'm going to just sneak in a little intuitive message here, which is that one of the ways that it becomes easier to forgive is to be grateful. So if we can be grateful again for being the hero of our own story, that we've never abandoned ourselves, we can be thankful for the people who may have so-called abandoned us because they taught us how to swim from the island ourselves. So we can thank them, you see, and that is so strong. So the gratitude portion can make it so it's not such a drag, like I have to forgive this person, but to actually celebrate through gratitude is one of the most powerful transformative emotions, to truly feel happy even with all those other feelings, because I, as a happiness navigator, love the feelings, all the feelings, the full spectrum, right? I don't believe black is bad, because how could we grow seeds without the new moon, without the darkness? We need both the light and the dark, and there is no such thing as bad. So there's no real bad emotions. There's no bad. There's just something that we might want to transmute, right? To alchemize. And a great way to do that is through gratitude. Is honestly one of the most powerful things. They say you can't really feel a lot of other emotions over top of gratitude. So if we choose gratitude and we put that forward first, the forgiveness comes a lot easier. Okay, it's talking about a full moon forgiveness ceremony. You know what? I'm going to buzz back in tomorrow, because tomorrow's the actual full moon in Scorpio. I think it's at 1:23 Eastern Standard Time. And so I'm going to buzz back in tomorrow and we'll go over the actual ceremony, the full moon forgiveness ceremony. And I'll read that out and we can do that tomorrow together. Maybe I'll take us to the woods on a wizarding walk tomorrow if it's decent out. We'll see how it is. It's been chilly and rainy and all kinds of stuff. However, I think we could probably make it to the woods and do our little ceremony there. So we'll bring that in and we'll just finish this off with the importance of gratitude. In performing our ceremony tomorrow and writing our forgiveness list, we're releasing resentment. Maybe let's see what it says about the forgiveness list. Think of anyone who's upset us. We can go right back to our childhood, and anyone who seemingly did wrong and who we haven't yet forgiven, put their name on a sheet of paper and write down what it was they did if you'd like, and write down as much as you need to. You've now created the forgiveness list. So if you'd like a little hive work, because you're at the tree hive in the sky, get it? Then you can do that this evening or in the rising tomorrow, and just think about what you could let go of, even if it's just a situation. Like, I was in this job and it really was terrible. There wasn't necessarily anyone to blame, but the situation made me feel like I was abandoned. Anything like that we can put on that list. And like it says, you can talk about how it made you feel and release that as well. So if we're releasing resentment, we need to replace it. Gratitude is the ideal quality to replace resentment. Exactly. It increases our vibration, so we will be happier. And the higher and clearer our vibration, the better able we will be to manifest in 2 weeks' time when that new moon rolls back around, right? We go from full illumination into the full dark, and none of it is bad. It's all beautiful. We appreciate those feelings of sadness and anger because they teach us. Sadness shows us the love, and grief, it just proves how much of it there is. Anger is protective. It's like having our own protective animal, a stag or a lion to protect us, but it's right here inside. And that's what we talk about, the shape shifting that we all really are. And so entering a state of gratitude ceremony. When you're in a state of gratitude, you can manifest extra well. This is because being in this state closes down the ego, which might otherwise bring in doubts while you're manifesting, or we're manifesting. I like to say, close down the toxic ego. There is such a thing as a healthy ego, and we really don't want to kill the ego, just like we don't want to kill anger or kill sadness. That is an old paradigm thing. If we can love it all, that's really what we want to do. So we want to love the toxic ego and be like, hey, you're trying to make us feel confident, huh? We can be confident with a healthy ego. And so, and I love how the word healthy is heal thy, right? So it's in here that we do it. So here's how to do it. Take a moment to think of at least 3 people, places, situations, or things for which we're really grateful. Feel the gratitude, really feel it in your body. At one point, I was doing a gratitude every single morning, rising, every rising for, I mean, it was over a year, every single day. As soon as I rose up, because again, that gratitude eclipses anxiety, and they say if you can get the first 17 seconds of your waking time, so as you come out of that, you know, we were away from this 3D place, we were floating somewhere, we come into this heavy dimension. If we can lighten ourselves, if we can, in other words, release the weight by feeling this gratitude, it really helps. And then at some point I wanted to go even beyond the gratitude of just being like, thank you so much, I have this bed to lie in, I don't have to be in a cardboard box, you know, I'm not in some abusive relationship where I don't even want to wake up, I have a body that can move and get stronger. Even though I have chronic pain, I can be so grateful for so many things. And so I practiced that and I practiced that, and then it was sort of like, it could feel like a little bit of a chore. So what I did was I leaned into the joy part of it. So then it was like not just the gratitude, but the joy. Like, I mean, I'm in this bed and this bed is so comfortable and the pillows are so comfortable. And I had a good sleep last night, and I'm able to wake up and drink fresh water, and I live in the place that's full of things that give me joy, and I can go turn on the whole wide world and bring a wizard's fellowship together, and just start to feel the joy, to pet the cat and feel how soft she is and feel that purring vibration and be so grateful for that little tiny things, but feeling into this, like the lusciousness, right? The decadence, the prismatic perfection that is this beautiful experience, this planet Earth experience. Ooh, I can feel it flowing through. You feeling it too? Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle. I see you. I feel you and I love you. All right, we're writing a list of who we're grateful for. We're feeling the joy of that. We're feeling the joy of these people around us who've been there. We're feeling the joy of the situations that have made us so happy, that have made us feel that luxuriousness of life, the decadence, the deliciousness, tasty and juicy life that we have. And then we magnify it by focusing in on that, right? Life, Buddhists say life is suffering, and once you realize that, then you can be happy. True. You know, I cry with the best of them, and I have a very vast spectrum of emotions. As much as I am your happiness navigator and joyful and silly and giddy, and I also have depth of feeling that matches that in the other direction. So this joyfulness and feeling into the gratitude of the people, the places, the things that give us this beautiful story that is only ours. Wow. I mean, it's a complex, beautiful, terrible, amazing, astonishing life. You know, like, what an experience. We couldn't write it. I was thinking about coming in and telling y'all, you know, from the other spectrum, all of the, you know, they say that your life sounds like a country song. I could give us multiple country songs. We could choose the different things and compile multiple country songs. And I was thinking, what if I just sat there one day and just listed the incredible, wild, and upsetting stories of the makings of a woman wizard and happiness navigator. So I think those story times are yet to come. There's a lot. And I was saying to someone today, I still have chronic pain from being assaulted by a homeless person while I was working on film sets, because I worked on something like 60 productions in the Toronto film industry before I got assaulted by a homeless person. and a lot of chronic pain, couldn't sleep more than 3 hours for over 10 years, diagnosed with fibromyalgia, IBS, and all a fun plethora of exciting things, and still somehow managed to get to this point where even though it hurts, it actually hurts almost like it did the day after I got assaulted every single day, and yet I'm able to be here and focus, because it's not hocus pocus, it's focus, and that's what we do. Focus on the joy, not the suffering, like the Buddha say. You accept the suffering. You go, hey, this is what happened, because for a long time I resisted that pain. I wanted to fix it. I tried everything, and I would still wake up and cry every single morning, like, is this again, really? I tried everything. And then one day I just said, this is it. This is my new normal. And when I admitted, like, okay, I have pain. I have chronic body-wide chronic pain, and I cannot sleep. And then I stopped resisting it. Relaxation, because the body's not trying to fight what is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. That's why I don't like that stay safe thing, because you can't really stay safe. You can look both ways crossing the street, and a car comes out from the way you looked first. Life is like that. It's how you deal with it. It's how resilient we are. It's how grateful we are. It's how we look at the suffering as like a dartboard, and it's all the dartboard, but there's a bullseye, baby, and it's joy. And the joy, again, start with the gratitude, but then feel into the joy, baby, because the joy. I know the Buddhists would say, don't get too joyful. Just stay zen in the middle. But I like the joy. I'll trade the joy for the sadness, okay? This is me. This is why I'm the happiness navigator. I love the full spectrum, because that's the whole thing about Zen. It tells you to stay at a certain level, like just stay Zen, just stay in the middle, which is true. It's the middle path. You don't want to be too happy, too sad. But the thing is there's something beautiful about being super joyful, and then there's also something beautiful about being super sad. So anyways, we can appreciate the full rainbow, can't we? Lovelies, I love you. I see you out there. Hi, Dan. How are you doing? And Colleen. Who else is here? Put your names in there so I can shout you out. Okay. It says we can burn the gratitude list after writing it. You just want to let things go at this time of the month. Or you can actually keep a gratitude list too. That's absolutely wonderful if it feels good to you to keep a gratitude list. Then you can go through it and look at it sometimes when you're feeling a little and go, wow, like I said, look at these people. And it's how we look at things, because we could pick holes in people and the people around us and what they've done and stuff, or we could look at them like, wow, thank you for giving these people to me and my experience. We're so lucky to have anyone. Some people have nobody. And even if we have nobody, we still have ourselves, and we still have a connection to spirit, and it's always we're never truly alone. Although I know the feeling, and I know the feeling of missing people and things, but truly, we're always like a bubble, right? A drop in the ocean is always, it's quite a conundrum, because we are the ocean or the Great Lake out here, but we are also just a drop. So we want to be connected, but we're also individual, and we are connected, but we're also individual. It's like so intense, Okay. Finally, if it feels right for you, say this incantation. I know that I am blessed, or as I like to call it, blissed, and I live my life within that knowing. I know that I am blissed, and I live my life within that knowing. I know that I am blissed, and I live my life within that knowing. So it's saying plan your life with the full moon, and then it's going to get into what's going on in Scorpio. So we're going to do that tomorrow when we do are we? Yeah, we're going to do that tomorrow when we do the gratitude ceremony. Okay, so we'll come back and do that live. We'll do this forgiveness ceremony on this page. I'll read it out to you, maybe from the Wizarding Woods, possibly, if the weather is cooperative. And then we'll get into the full moon in Scorpio and what that is all about exactly from the Moonology perspective, anyways, from this book from Yasmin Boland. And what else? It's just going to tell us a little guide to the full moon and intro us into what exactly is going on with Scorpio and what we might want to look at. So we'll just I'll just go over this part really quickly because there's not too much there, and then it gives you enough to think about it in the moment if you want to over the evening and into tomorrow, which is the day of the full moon. And if you find this another time, this is still going to be applicable to you because for some reason this energy has already is important for you to find whenever you find it. So it's saying that the energy is potentially rather intense. Top 5 questions. Have I been jealous, vengeful, suspicious, or otherwise behaved toxically? Oh, I love it when we get really honest with ourselves, don't you? This is the only way we get to evolve personally. I love being, radically honest with myself as much as possible because this is really, truly how we progress and alchemize things. Have we been living out of fear rather than joy? Have we been brooding and dark, focusing on the negative rather than the positive? It's a feeling, right? And it's like, again, the dark's not bad and negative's not bad because we couldn't actually charge a battery without negative and positive. So they're not bad. It's just how do we want to feel? It's like a sunflower facing the sun. You know what I'm saying? So we're choosing how and being really radically honest with ourselves. Hey, how have I been feeling? How have I been acting? How have I been treating myself and other people? Have I been cruel or cunning? And then there's like, this is this very Scorpio question. Am I having the sex I need to feel good about myself? It says, of course, some people will feel no sex at all, but I would suggest that on a Scorpio full moon, one might actually ask themselves, especially in this world of Tinder and all these kind of things, are we having sex, or are we having those kind of thoughts? Because sexuality is also the same chakra as creativity. Are we doing that in a way that feels good? Is it like a spiritual connection? Is it healthy? Is it are we connecting our energies with the right people? So you might even just ask yourself, how are your relations with other people? Does it feel like usury, or is it actually a reciprocal healthy energy? So these are the kind of questions we want to ask. Is it like poisonous, right, with the Scorpio? So what might be poisonous in our life and we might still keep coming back to? What can we let go of there? That's my own addition. And the message is, this is a good time to bring sexy back. I'm down. Let's do some dancing. We haven't done any dancing on here in a while. So tomorrow is Fearless Fridays. So maybe talk about this and do some dancing in the woods. I don't know. I think I actually have a little tiny speaker. I could take us out to the woods and do a little dance. That might be fun. Okay. Multi-passionate magic maker. You never know what she's going to be up to. So you have to subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss. All right. Find a balance between over-intensity and lazy contentment. Whoa, that is a big thing for me. And I'm Scorpio rising. So over-intensity and lazy contentment. Like, I'm also Gemini. So there's like the twins. And I think one is that, like, just over-intensity, too much. And then the other one's like lazy contentment. But I mean, they're both beautiful again. Beautiful polarities, right? Find a balance, though. Find the balance. Forgive. Perform the full moon forgiveness ceremony. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. We're going to do it in the woods and a little dancey dance. That's what we're doing. Sounds like it. As long as the weather is all right in this crazy Canadian Toronto city magical kingdom. Write the forgiveness list. It says, then burn it, or maybe keep it. It depends. Sometimes I like to keep these things. Sometimes we can let them go or plant them. You can cut them up and plant them too, but that's good to do, especially with manifesting. So, but you can like just bury it to say it's like, or keep it for your knowledge and evolution. Be grateful. Perform the entering a state of gratitude ceremony on page 144. 144, it's a good number. We just went over that. Write that gratitude list. It says, and then burn it or keep it. All right. So that is what we've got from Moonology this fine eve. You know what? I had feeling to bring in the Spellcaster Oracle, and I actually forgot to put that in the description. or even really get into that, because I kind of forgot we were going to. Let's have a sip of tea. It's been a minute. Ooh, there's lots of honey in my sour cherry tea. So good. Want some? There you go. I like to share. Okay, Spellcasting Oracle. Let's pick one spell, since it actually is full moon after all, and it has this big full moon on it. And so tomorrow, we don't know, there's so much to talk about. Tomorrow is the full moon in Scorpio for letting go. And tonight is what they call Walpurgisnacht. And that is the last dark night before May Day, which is also Beltane in some traditions, right? So, and when they dance around the maypole and all that. Oh, wait a second. Knock, knock, knock. Can you knock, knock, knock for me too? We're going to get an answer for the collective here. See what the collective wants to call out as a spell that we can cast together. I think this one has a little rhyme in it too. It's very specific, this deck. So tomorrow is May Day and Beltane. I mean, here comes May, baby. We're almost there. I'm a May baby too. Lighten your load. Look at this one. Really interesting because, again, yesterday we had the Empress, and the Empress is often referred to, and especially in the deck that we had yesterday, as a pregnant woman, but she actually had the world as her belly. And here it's that the world on our backs. So this is, again, that reminder that it's time to receive and be in Empress energy and lighten this load. It is definitely time to take all the weight of that long, dark winter of the soul and let it go. Come into the illumination. Lighten the load. Let's see what the Spellcasting Oracle says to do with this card. I'm interested. This is very interesting, isn't it? And it actually looks like they have the full moon in their hands. Aha, let us see, let us see. What does it say in their little book? See, the great thing about tarot cards is it's like people keep all these books that they don't read, but what about tarot cards that are interactive and have a book? Hey, I never feel bad about keeping those. Does it have a number? No, it does not. Lighten your load. Number 92 is the page. That's a 10. And a full illumination would be 10. That's completion. And that's where we're at. So, lighten your load. All right, let's read about it. And this will be just about us for the evening or rising or afternoon or whenever this finds you. Our magical guidance from the Lighten Your Load card is: we have the choice and power to remove ourselves from stressful situations or simply take it in our stride. This is pretty much what we've been talking about this whole time, right? Take it as a blessing, or lighten the load, or change it, That's the other option we have. Stress is completely voluntary and something we allow ourselves to feel, even if this may not seem to be the case as we face the responsibilities that life seems to demand. Give your exhausted and tortured mind a break as you start to see things with a brighter outlook. That's that illumination right there. Lighten the load and allow laughter to break you free from your self-imprisoned cell. It's the only way to strengthen your immune system and inspire hope while protecting you from the damaging effects that stress has dealt. There's a spell incantation. Face west on a Wednesday evening under a waning gibbous moon. So that would be next week after this full moon, next Wednesday. Hold a vial of eucalyptus oil and a howlite crystal and say, and honestly, we can just make this happen because this is how, again, time's not linear, stuff isn't required. It's really the energy and intention that is the magic, but we as people like to cling to things and rituals and limitations. So we don't have to do any of those things. We can actually bring this in right now. As we say, well, the moon doth be waning after tomorrow night. So we'll say that when the moon doth wane, That night, release me from our darkest plight. Crystal calms our active mind, eucalyptus to unwind. Oil upon both temples place, massage well, invite in space. Rest, relax, let go, release, banish stress, and welcome peace. Never mind demands from folk, indulge in laughter, get the joke? It's great. So we've just invoked that. And the magical meanings could be, might be taking something too seriously. Worry would make us ill, so relax. Reshuffle priorities and schedules. Check your priorities. Try a laughter yoga class, or just try, it says, see the funny side. Just try giggling a little bit more about the magical stuff that life presents. You know, just do that, maybe. Yes, it's been a joy, as it always is, to buzz with you, sweet ones. So let's do it again very soon. And for now, so much love to you. We'll put one more little sparkle in whatever you're drinking. I'm drinking water and my cherry tea because water is so important for us. There you go. A little extra cosmic rainbow energy to activate, transmute, and evolve. And the acronym for that is CREATE. That's our own special wizarding modality. And I will look forward to seeing you on our next Magic Charge broadcast. Until then, bye for now. Ciao and love. Always. From your bee friend.